Welcome to Donald Driver's home in Milwaukee. He's let me in.
I have.
Which is the silliest thing you've done in a very long time. But this is going to be fun. We're going to be talking football. We're here with Donald Driver. We're here with Travis Beckum. And you guys don't need any introductions, but let me do it. To my right here, Donald Driver, 14-year Packer, Super Bowl winner, all-time leading Packers receiver. Am I getting this right?
You got it.
Successful author, the Quickie books, Dancing with the Stars champion.
Correct.
What am I leaving out there that you want in?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing?
I think you got it. I think everything else,
Okay.
everyone already knows that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You wrote books. He made movies. I don't know if you know I'm going to mention this.
Uh-oh.
Okay. To my left is Travis Beckum, Oak Creek's very own, UW-Madison, drafted by the New York Giants. Let's start with Madison. You went there to be a linebacker, and they discovered, this guy might play tight end. You start tearing up Big Ten defenses, get drafted by the Giants, wins the Super Bowl, has the ring to prove it. I don't know that you don't have a ring to prove it.
I have a ring, but I don't have that ring.
Okay.
I want that one.
That's the ring you have to wear.
That's the one I need right there.
This is
Here. Now, one thing that he might not put on his resume, but I discovered it today.
Okay.
Co-starred with Kevin Costner in the movie Draft Day.
Oh, I knew that.
Did you know that? There's a.
So
I seen it. I tried to get try to see if I can get some pay for that too. Didn't work, but it's worth a shot. No.
So you listen. I love that you was. I didn't know you was in a movie. So I got offered to be in Draft Day, to be the dad of the kid, the linebacker that got drafted. I was just too young looking. I wasn't old.
I thought you.
You were going to be watching that.
Yeah. And it ended up being Terry Crews.
That's right.
Right. So I interviewed for that part of the game.
Oh.
And I still have my script.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not
It was
know
right
that.
after Dance with the Stars, but they realized that I looked
You just had to throw
young.
Dancing in the Stars in there.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to throw Dancing with the Stars in a few.
Yeah, I was seeing where you're gonna go with that introduction. I feel like every time I'm with Donald, they always introduce him first and all his accolades, and then I go next. I'm like, you guys gotta switch it up. You gotta.
switch it up and give him the love, but you didn't, so I appreciate that.
And we're in your home. I thought it was only proper. But for those who don't know, the movie Draft Day features a fictitious Wisconsin quarterback named Bo Callahan, and the highlight they use is actually Tyler Donovan throwing you stretched out number 9 at Ohio State for a remarkable touchdown.
Yeah.
Do you watch that movie and you say,
I do.
I'm in there?
I do. Sometimes when I'm having a bad day, I'll throw it on. But no, it's good to see stuff like that. Tyler Donovan obviously made a great play, scrambling around, and just kind of threw it up in the back of the end zone. Laid out for it, and it just fell into the hands, slid across the back of the end zone. We didn't end up winning that game, but I got a story to tell my kids, and I was in a movie. I wasn't Donald Driver, but I was in a movie.
No. Okay. I wanted to be in that movie, so there's that.
I watched it every time it's on. If you were in it, I would watch it and record it.
I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to be watching the game, but because of the technology involved in the way, we're not going to be talking X's and O's. But I do want to talk about this Packer team as people tune into this. And we're going to be taking questions from viewers. How do you guys usually watch a game, or do you? Because I've talked to some athletes who say when they've left, they can't watch a game anymore. They just don't want to. Are you really a fan? Do you still watch these teams? Do you watch the Giants?
I'm absolutely. I think I watch all Wisconsin sports. Wisconsin Badger sports. And the reason why I watch, people always ask, you're from Wisconsin. I grew up watching Donald, Brett Favre, Andre Rising, guys like that. But my dream was always to play in the NFL, and the Giants drafted me. They were the team that gave me the opportunity to live my dream, which is why I'm forever they'll always have a place in my heart. But yeah, it is tough to watch. I mean, just growing up watching those Packer legends, Donald. But again, I think my go-to obviously is the Badgers. But at the end of the day, I think it's the Giants that really gave me opportunity to live my dream.
You guys have played against each other 3 times by my research. You got him in a game where he averaged 67 yards a catch one day. I mean, it was one catch, but it was an average of 67.
Third play of the game, I remember that.
Same game, you had 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
Can you talk about the games you played against each other, or do you not remember, or do you need me to prime the pump? You both played in so many games. How does that work for an athlete? Some pitchers can recall every pitch they threw to every batter,
Yeah.
and vice versa. Do you guys remember the games where you played against?
The one I scored 2 touchdowns. We was
Yeah.
actually in that.
Yeah.
We was actually in that. I remember it like yesterday. The first one I caught, the first touchdown I caught, I can't believe nobody guarded me. Nobody covered me. I ran the corner route, and I was just wide open, and that was surprising. But I think it was because I was at that time I was 37 years old. Probably nobody wanted to cover me anyway. I thought I wasn't going to open. But that was one of the best plays that I think at that point. I was like, okay. But the game was close. I mean, it was like we went down to the wire, and I remember on our last drive, I think we probably had. It probably was like 3 minutes, 4 minutes left in the game. We were up 20. It was 28-27, I think. And I remember we were sitting right at might have been the 10, 15-yard line. We were going down to score. And I remember running the corner route, and I think Jordan came underneath me, ran a shallow, or JJ came underneath, ran a shallow. I was in the back of the end zone. And I can remember like yesterday, I'm standing there, you know, once you get pushed out of bounds, you can't really come back in, right? You got to stop yourself. But Corey tries to push me, way trying to push me out of bounds. I just happened to move.
Yeah.
And I ran to the corner, and Aaron throws the ball. And I remember like catching it, going out of bounds, keeping my feet in bounds. And I stood up, and I was like, that's 2 tonight, right? So it's going to be a good game. But it came down to the wire, and at the end of the game, Jordan made a great play, and we ended up beating them in their home.
And then they come back in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And got us.
Yeah.
That should be one of your rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give them credit. I let them have it.
I mean,
it's good. It's
like,
a good looking ring.
look at the, like, man.
Show the camera so the camera can actually see.
Right into Jared's camera.
Give them up.
Let me know when you want to start counting them diamonds.
So let me ask you this. So explain what was the design behind that one?
So I'm not sure how you guys did it, but we had our captains.
Okay.
So it was like Eli, Justin Tuck, OC. Basically come up with the design. Obviously, it's the four trophies. I think this is from Tiffany's. Blue, obviously, from the Giants. But then we got our last names on there, our numbers, the years, the score of the game. So I mean, there's a lot of creativity that goes into it. Obviously, now you look at this compared to Golden State's where there's opens and all that. But I mean, I wish I could be like Tom Brady and have, what is he at, 7 now? 8? But no, our captains picked this out, and obviously they kind of keep it hush, and then all of a sudden you go to the ceremony and they pull out the rings for the first time, and it's breathtaking because obviously my goal was to play in the NFL, and to win a Super Bowl was that much more.
How often do you wear that?
Not really. Not really when I'm speaking to kids, because I know there's like a 0.001% chance of kids that are going to play in the NFL, and I always mention that to them. But I was also that percentage as well, and I just want to let them know, hey, keep your head up, keep dreaming, because you can make this happen. It's all about you. You control your own destiny.
That's your story, too, right? I mean, you never played on a winning football team until you played for the Packers. Is that correct? I mean, Alcorn State, 7th round pick. A lot of people said, where? Alcorn State?
Did they say that?
They didn't know where it was.
Where is it?
It's Mississippi. Mississippi. Little small town.
Now, I grew up a Walter Payton fan, so I knew HBCU was in Jackson State. So you can get some diamonds from those schools, right? But you've been fighting that fight your whole career, and that's why you're tight end, I think, of the goodwill. You identify with the need for people to get that in the next game.
Yeah, I think that was it. I think it's one of those things, is believing in the power of work. That's Goodwill's overall mission. It's always been their mission. And I've been a spokesperson for over 20 plus years, right? And so it's really, if you believe in the power of work and you put the work in, you'll be successful at the end of the day. And for me, that's what I did. I got really made. Being a second round draft pick, I think some of the people, you don't respect the making.
Yeah.
You become what they call a body, right? In training camp, in training camp, you pack your bags up, you try to figure out where your next home is. But there was one guy.
What do they call it? The turf? Is it the turf?
Yeah, that's probably what they call it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Bring your playbook, coach.
Yeah.
And they never said that.
They never said it, but I think the reason why they never said that is because before training camp even started, there was a young, I call him a young man because he was young at the time. He was the great Ron Wolf. Brought me up to his office and said, hey, I believe in you. I think you can make this team. But I need you to go out there and do everything possible to make the team. And when the general manager calls you up to the office, expecting you to make the team, you don't want to let him down. Right. And so for that, I just did everything possible.
Was he basically saying, I put my neck out and I took you?
Exactly.
Go prove me right.
Right.
As well.
But they had other receivers. I mean, we had 13 receivers in camp. I mean, we brought in guys from that was free agents, right? Antonio Freeman was holding out for a big contract. Robert Brooks was still there. Derek Mays was still there. I'm like, how is it possible that I'm going to make this team, right? But you just start wrapping your head around, like, and you start seeing guys during camp, they just get cut. Guys getting cut, guys retiring, and so I knew my opportunity was there.
When did I'm going to get to that. I just want to talk about Goodwill once more, because you made an announcement to your captain.
Yeah.
Can I embarrass you and ask you about what you're doing?
No, so the Donald Drive Foundation is actually we're gonna donate up to $50,000 matching to anyone that donates to Goodwill's Give for Good, right, campaign. And we just really want to continue to make the impact in the community that we serve. And it's just giving people job opportunities and just supporting the community and everything they do.
So you're putting up 50 and you're going to match it?
Yeah.
Okay. So tonight, if people are watching this right now,
yes.
and thinking about giving Goodwill,
yeah.
So this is you teaming up with Donald Drive.
Correct. Yeah. So we're going to team up with Donald Drive and the Donald Drive Foundation. So we're going to match $50,000 to anyone that donates to it up to $50,000. We're going to match it.
Gotcha. Since we're talking training camp, let's go back to your first training camp
Yeah.
with the Giants. You had a really nice career.
What year was that?
2009. 2009. It's crazy because when he gets the call to go up to the front office and they're telling him to keep doing what he's doing, keep grinding, I want you to make the team. It's crazy because I think about that and where I was at my last year in 2014 with the Saints. When Sean Payton called me up to the front office. And I was to the point where it was like, had a practice and they went down, came down to the field and they're like, hey, Sean Payton wants to have a word with you. And you know what it is. It's like, man, and that was when Jimmy Graham was in his prime. And it's like, Travis, you've done nothing but great things since you've been here. It comes down to a numbers game. But it's crazy to relate different opportunities that you have as far as the opportunity that you had and to live a few months later or a few weeks later to live your dream and obviously do what you did in Green Bay, and then mine to basically figure out life after football, which is a thing.
How long does that take? Because football ended respectfully on your terms, right? You said enough. You, like most players, you would have loved to play a little bit more, right? But it was injuries or the numbers game. How do you adjust to that? It's because it is different.
Yeah.
Donald says, peace out. I've done my thing, but you wanted to play a little more.
Yeah, and again, obviously Donald's done great things, and it's a blessing to be able to walk away from the game. And obviously now you look at concussions and CTE, but it was tough for me because all I knew was football. All I knew was to go out there, make plays, and basically earn a living based off of my God-given talent. And life after football is huge. It's a real thing, and I had tunnel vision. And all I seen was at the end of the road was football. And little do you know, you look into how long the average career in the NFL is. But it's a blessing to have that opportunity. But to be able to think about life after football while you're playing, it's tough. And now that I get to be an asset at UW and talk to the current athletes and try and not necessarily don't dream and don't envision what you want to see, but just have other opportunities, building your brand, establishing networks, contacts, go out of your way, meet somebody that you would never typically reach out to. And I think that's the biggest thing. And now I get the access to do that. I learned, and if I can have an opportunity to help these younger guys, I'm more than willing to do it.
Super Bowl champion goes a long way to make an introduction. I mean, when you're doing any sort of business or any sort of meeting, people are going to look at you and go, whoa. They want to talk about their football career, and then you can take it and say, but I'm also about this and I'm about this and this. Right? I mean, it's the best foot in the door.
I think that's what's so exciting about it is that we get labeled. I think people label us as Super Bowl champions. Whatever team we play for, Badgers legends. Like that's That's what you get labeled as. But we don't want to be labeled as those because we're humans, right? So we want to be more than that. And I think the things that we've been able to do post-career has been truly amazing on both sides. And so, yeah, I look at Travis. Travis probably is a mentor to me, but I look at him as a mentor too. Just all the things he's been able to do and how he's been able to stay connected. And it's all about building relationships.
Yeah.
He's been able to do those relationships, and look where his platform has taken him to this point.
Are you based in Wisconsin?
Yep. I'm out in Madison, Fitchburg area. Yep.
Gotcha.
He ain't never invited me over though, like to hang
Yeah.
out.
Like you've invited.
Donald, you have so many houses. I don't know where you actually live. I don't know where you live, Donald. Man.
That's all that matters.
But, yeah, and he's going to be gone tomorrow. So.
Not yet. I'll be here.
Yeah.
What was it like to hear your name on draft?
Yeah.
You went third round. You went second.
Well, let me start because his gonna sound better. I would say this.
You weren't in New York City.
I was not. I was at home in Houston, Texas. I can tell you that. But I would say this. I think it's the most amazing feeling because I think as kids, that's our dream. I think that's the ultimate goal is to get your name called and then know that you're playing for a professional team. I think for me, I got a little bit upset as time as the rounds went on. I got frustrated, and I realized that it wasn't. I'm like, okay, how is all these guys coming off the board, and I haven't got my name called? And I knew what it was. Me going to a small school was one of the hardest things, right? But it was my grandfather's wish for me to go to Alcorn State, so I chose Alcorn State. That was the only HBCU that offered me a scholarship, but I had scholarships from everyone else, and so to be able to follow my grandfather's dreams, I think it all panned out. God had a plan for it, right? So he just kind of just said, this is what I'm going to give you. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be an amazing journey that you got to go on, but it's going to be a pathway to success. And did I ever think it was going to be that way? No. And so when the phone call came in, I was outside playing football in the yard with my brothers, just out there chilling. And my dad comes to the door and was like, hey, the Packers on the phone. I'm like, whatever. We're in the 7th round. Call him back. And he looked at me. He was like, "No, I'm serious. They on the phone." And I run in, and it's again, it was round 1. Just saying, congratulations. We're going to take you with the 213 pick. We have a 212 and a 213. And my question to him was, why not 212?
Yeah.
Right? And so he was like, we're going to take a guy that you played against named Chris Akins. We're going to take him from Arkansas Pine Bluff. And I was like, hold on, y'all don't know what I did to that kid? Y'all taking that for me. But he'll be there.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Chris Akins and I was on the same call, and so it was an amazing experience.
He's
that we
from
got.
an HBCU?
Yes, Arkansas Pine Bluff, and so that was a great opportunity. But I came in. I'll say this: once my name was called, the pressure was off, and I was able to put the hat on my head, knowing that, hey, listen, I have a chance to play in the National Football League.
Did you ever been to Wisconsin?
No, I don't go. Listen, South is where I stay. I don't even know. I didn't even know how to get to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
South.
No,
I know. Exactly. You don't know where they are.
Get to Wisconsin. Everyone's saying, "Oh, it's close to Chicago." That's the only thing I knew. Yeah.
That's what everybody always says.
How about you? Third round?
Yeah. So mine was in Donald's defense. I also wasn't in New York. I was back at home, and I was actually not too far from here, actually, MLK Drive, with my family. And mine was a weird situation because pretty much I was coming back as the number 1, number 2 tight end in the country, and I break my leg my senior year. And so obviously that's going to put an effect on where you get drafted. And so Giants have 2 picks. They have 2 picks in the first, or 2 picks in the second round, 2 picks in the third round. And actually, New York was the only place that I took a visit. So I really had no idea where I was actually going to go. And so I'm trying to get in close with the guys. So it's funny that you asked. So I went to the combine. I only bench pressed, got 228 or 225, 28 times. That's when you say,
Yeah, he's swole.
Yeah. Yeah, it used to be way better back in the day. Now I'm getting old, and so the only thing I did,
Later on, we're going to go take the shirt off like we talked about earlier.
40s and 30s.
Yeah.
So that you got the call.
Yeah, so I got the call, and again, I just didn't know where it was going to be the second round or the third round, and got it the second round or the second pick in the third round, and it was like, man, it's really finally come true. And the family's there, and I wasn't playing football in the backyard, but the family was there, and you're able to connect and be like, it finally happened. This is my dream. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome.
Absolutely. Goo goo gaga type.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, oh yeah. Not that much, but it was, yeah.
The emotion, the hard work.
Yeah, of course.
paid off.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
I'm fascinated. The smallest market in the league and the biggest market. The media is entirely different. in
Yeah.
Both cities,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
To be honest,
I
the
agree.
media
I
here
agree.
is fairly Packer friendly.
100%.
And there are those who have the criticism and they have to cover it because bad.
Yep.
But it can be brutal. in this city.
Yeah, it's tough, and that's the thing that you have to learn quick from not only the media, but I think it's one of those things where you have to adapt just moving out there and being from the Midwest and holding the door for somebody and somebody not saying thank you. It's like, hold on, let's try that again now.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But again, it's everywhere. Everyone has somewhere to be, somewhere to go,
Right.
and it's something that you have to adapt to. And especially like the New York media, they're tough, they're cutthroat, and they expect great things out of their football team, out of their basketball team, out of their baseball team. They expect greatness, and they're all aboard when you're winning. But if you start losing,
Yeah.
it's a whole different ball game.
So I guess that's why they call it the Big Apple,
Yeah, something.
right?
Something.
Yeah, that's why they call it the Big Apple.
Yeah, it's tough.
Fans can turn
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah.
Anything come to mind? I mean, they loved you after a 67-yard touchdown.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Who was that against?
It was like the third play of the game. I think it was against Charlie Pepper. And I was running, I remember looking up, and I see the safety kind of creeping over. So I'm like, wait, are they going single high right now? If we're going single high, I'm in the seam. Stay inside the numbers, get a little bit outside the numbers, bam. Charlie tried to grab my arm, smacked his hand off. Just look up, fell right to my hands, did a little wiggle waggle.
Yeah, that's probably the best part of the play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I couldn't, the thing is that I could have just took the straight way, but I had like 30 of my friends from Wisconsin at the game, so I was like, I got to show out for them a little bit.
Yeah,
So did that.
Let's give the people a show.
yeah. Get the people to ask for. They pay.
Exactly.
They buying the tickets.
Exactly.
Broadway, I think the show that they need right here.
Exactly.
Just a note to the audio engineer. I'm having mixed minus here. If you can do anything about that, that would be great. I want to talk about this game now that the game has started here. We are now looking at Tommy DeVito's parents. This
Yeah.
is a great story out of Central Casting.
Yep.
Johnson. Lives at home, Jersey kid. The NFL is full of these stories.
Yeah.
Of hometown guys making
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. He, I mean, they love him. And when we talk about like New York media, like that's homegrown talent right there. And so just the fact that he's from there and can live out his career, obviously he's doing great things. We have to figure out what's going on in New York first over the last few years. But it's great for somebody to be in basically in state. It's like somebody being from Wisconsin. Obviously the homegrown talent, getting the guys from Waunakee and Milwaukee, bringing those guys to Wisconsin. And keeping that in-state talent here, but obviously Tommy's been doing great things since he's had the opportunity to take over.
You talk about keeping kids here. I think that opens up a good discussion on college football.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Yep.
transfer portal. Your son played at Penn State and has decided to go elsewhere. Correct. You guys didn't have this. I imagine you're going to think it's good that your son can take advantage of it, right? Would you have liked this opportunity back in the day? The transfer portal and its likeness? Or do you just say that's the way it was back then and
Yeah.
I'm not bitter about it?
Yeah, no, I'm not bitter about it at all. I think that's just the way society
Yeah.
was back then, right? I mean, we can't change that.
Yeah.
But I think they realized that there's so many athletes over the years that if they had a chance to transfer, they might have been playing in the National Football League. Because so many kids get overlooked because there may be a little bit more talent than they are, right? But at the end of the day, if that kid goes to another school, he's probably the best receiver, best defensive back, best tight end in the country because he gets the opportunity to play. We've learned that in our time, there were so many great athletes on that team, on all our teams, that never got a look. Because they come in at 4 stars, 5 stars, but never get opportunity to play. And then all they could say is, I played at Wisconsin. I played at Alcorn State. I played at Penn State. Well, those kids have goals and dreams too that they want to reach. And so now, if there's an opportunity for you to go somewhere else and play. Now, I don't agree when you're the best defensive end in the country or you're the best receiver in the country and you jump ship to go to another team. Why? What are you trying to prove? There's nothing else to prove. You're there for a reason and you're the best.
You're there, you're playing. Right.
So what do you
Then
what do you
becomes
do?
the personality thing.
Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah.
the coach, or I don't like the way I'm being treated. Or I don't like the deal I'm getting.
Oh, you're not getting the deal you want. And now with the NIL deals, guys can jump ship and be like, oh, I'm going to make $2 million over here. We'll make $1 million over here. And young men are doing it. Because now they may never make that kind of money if they don't make it to the National Football League.
Well, they asked Coach Prime the other day, what would you make if you were a college athlete? And he said, I wouldn't have gone pro. I probably would have made more money staying.
He probably didn't even, he probably was like, I'm not even care to go pro. Who cares at that point?
So you're working with the Badgers
Yep.
on this very issue, right?
Yep.
What are the challenges for you? Obviously, you're a Wisconsin alum. You want to keep the good kids there, and you want kids who are in the portal to say, hey, come check out Madison.
Yeah.
It's a great place. But you can't take everybody. How do you separate the wheat from the
Yeah,
chaff?
it's I think it's like a mindset. And I think if you've noticed the different athlete that is at UW when Coach Chris is there, different athlete that Coach Fickle and his mindset and what he's trying to accomplish at UW. Because I can tell you now, like this isn't, if you're coming in, if you're soft, if you think that your position is promised, it's not. It's really not. And I think a lot of guys got lackadaisical. And Coach Fickle has a job to do.
But is there a danger, and I ask this as an alum, I sort of like the Wisconsin guys who coach Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And you've got Chris and you got Leonard, okay. Is the program becoming de-Wisconsified? I mean, are we losing some good kids because of it? You have this young man, Miles Burkett, who led Franklin to the state tournament, and he was a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Maybe never really got his chance to play. So there are pros and cons of it, right?
Yeah.
You're going to lose Wisconsin kids. Yeah. Penn State's going to lose out on yours.
100%. Yeah.
That's a tough question.
How does a family make that decision? How does an athlete make that decision where you say, I'm not going to get my chance here?
Yeah. That's tough, Donald. And I think this is a great segue into, we're going to have Christian at UW next year.
I don't know. That's going to be a Luke question. Luke has to make a phone call. This is the thing. Christian is born and raised.
Right,
hey, listen, tell him to call Christian. They don't have to call me because I don't have to make that decision for him. But I would say this. Christian was born and raised in Wisconsin, right? That's why I tell people, like, he can never say he's a Texas baby. He's not. He's a Wisconsin kid. But this is where he wanted to visit. So it was either Penn State or Wisconsin. When he came out, he had 47 Division I offers. He could have went anywhere he wanted to go. He chose to say, if I go to Wisconsin, I want to see what they can offer. At that time, there was no NIL at that time, right? It was just go there and see. He wanted that. Unfortunately, they canceled his visit.
I didn't know that. See,
So he made the choice to say, well, now I'm going to have to do this. I'm just going to go to Penn State.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And why didn't you tell me any of this?
I don't know. It was a family decision. I couldn't tell you that. but I think it's a.
But, yeah, absolutely.
So now he said it. He said that. I would love to go see it. I would love to go see Wisconsin.
Yeah.
He's never been. He's never been to a Badger Stadium.
We just had two receivers into the transfer portal.
3 to be exact.
Well, exactly.
And one just into the draft.
You've been doing your research.
And one into the draft.
Obviously we're looking for we have to fill quarterback position.
Yep.
Obviously we're doing air raid.
Yep.
Explain what air raid is.
Explain that because some people that's listening may not even know what that is.
So basically, if you watch Wisconsin football over the last forever, ground and pound. But now we're spreading the ball. We're going 5 receivers. You're getting the running back that's going to go out next to the quarterback, going out wide, getting man-to-man coverage on the linebacker. So we're actually giving these receivers opportunities to actually spread the field and use that athletic ability. And obviously, Christian will fit well. I mean, he's got the body. He looked just like you. And And those are the things is that is you have guys that come in like Will Pauling that came over from Cincinnati, and it clicked. It clicked. And obviously he didn't have a former connection with Tanner Mordecai, but it clicks. And that's the thing is like Coach Fickle is like he wants guys that are going to go out there and make plays and help this team be great. And it's different now because if
But this program was not Colorado. They were
Yeah.
not winless. They
Yeah.
were a very top tier level.
Yeah.
Not the ultimate top, and I guess that's the goal.
Yeah.
Right? That's why you make the choice.
yeah.
What's your role as a dad here? With a son who's now in the transfer portal?
Just to mentor him through it, right? I think I can't make the decision for him. He has to make that decision for himself. He wanted to make sure I was okay with him entering the transfer portal because we've always said where you go, you stay. But knowing the situation, it was much easier because we want him to be happy, right? And if he's not happy, then it's not going to work, right?
Exactly.
So he just felt like he could play, and me watching him, not just because he's my son, but watching his film, he can actually play. And so now he just wants the opportunity. You know, he has 3 years left, and he did not want to. He just didn't want to waste it. So I said, listen, Daddy I give you the leverage to enter the transfer portal. His mom did the exact same thing. And I think once he got that clarity from us, he was okay.
In any way, is he better than you?
I would say this. I would never tell him, but I have to admit, he looks like me at the professional level now, and that's surprising to me, right? Because most kids are still learning that. He's kind of picked up the nature of how I used to release, right? How I get people hands off me. You know, Brett Favre used to always tell people, if you put Donald in the phone booth with 11 people, it's going to take him 10 minutes to touch him, right? I see that in him, and it's like surprising that he can do exactly what I've done at that level as a freshman, right? And so I'm surprised.
That's you. That's a reflection of you, though. That's you. And I don't know the connection that you have with your father, but I mean that's you instilling that in him, and obviously seeing the videos of you working with him and driven, like that's you. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean I obviously in the future I'm gonna hope the same thing for my child and know to what I can do to make my child be the best. But I mean that's a reflection of you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
That is one of the questions that came up from our viewers on our Facebook page here. Obviously, the answer is yes. Would you want your kid playing football? A lot of parents are starting to say, no, we're seeing the results of repeated hits of the problem.
Yeah.
And Christian is healthy. Correct. You're healthy. You good?
I'm good.
Okay.
Besides this hamstring, I tweaked my hamstring
Okay.
a couple weeks ago at volley.
Trying to run 40s again? You trying to run sprints? You know them days over with, big dog. You ain't got to do that no more. You ain't got to listen. Stop trying to prove to people you can still run 40s, okay?
You're on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just say, here's what I can do.
Yeah, this is what I used to do. All right.
I'm too competitive to go out like that. I'm too competitive.
I'm with you on that one.
But back to the question.
Yeah.
It's a serious question.
Yeah.
Are you concerned about fewer and fewer kids playing football?
I would say, for me, no. Right? I think, I will say this. I think if we don't change the issue of allowing defensive backs, the defensive side of the ball, to actually do true hitting, I think we're going to have more issues where kids are going to get injured. I think, I think Travis would say this, but like we both, I would rather you hit me up high than to hit me low, 100%. If 20 years, 30 years, 50 years from now, if my kid is sitting across from me and I'm like, I know that's my son, and I'm okay with that, but if I can't never play with my kid because I have a bum knee and I got knee replacements, well then I'm done, right? So I've always said that. I mean, in my 14-year career, when someone hit us low, we were upset. I'm like, don't hit me low. Like, hit me up high all you want, but do not hit me low. But I think the game is changing now with the rules. It's making it harder for defensive backs to like, do I hit you here? Do I hit you there? Well, you know something? I'm just going to hit you in your knee. And that's becoming a bigger issue. And now we've had more ACL injuries than we've ever had in the National Football League because of that situation.
Because they're afraid they're going to get a targeting.
Yeah.
They're afraid they're going to get.
So why not hit you low? Why not take your knee? And if my knee is planted and I plant, you hit me here, I'm done. The game is over.
Game's over. Season's
Yeah,
over.
hit me up high. I don't remember my name. It's okay. I'll be Batman for tomorrow. But I'll be fine the next couple of days after that.
Worst hit you ever took?
Mine was John Lynch.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
When he
in my
with Tampa?
yeah, I was in my second year,
Okay.
and I started that game. It was the last game of the season, and we're playing them in Lambeau, and I ran. Brett's throwing me, and I'm getting the balls, and I'm making a good play, and all of a sudden he calls a slant, like right at the 20-yard line, and I come up and I hit it, and I caught it on run day, and I probably took 2 steps,
Yeah.
and I'm talking about my helmet popped off, the ball went somewhere else. John Lynch stands over me, helps me up, and says, "Donald, you okay?" And I looked at him, I slapped his hand away. "No, I'm not okay," because I didn't even have my helmet on. I get up, I walk to the sideline, and I was just like, "This is crazy." Like, I mean, he snapped everything. Worse,
He could hit,
he could do that.
and he's a pretty good GM now.
Yeah.
He
Oh
knows
yeah.
what he's
Smart.
doing.
Very smart.
How about you? What hit made you go, man, I should have been
Welcome to the league.
I should have been a tennis player.
It's a water polo something. Patrick Willis. I thought he broke about 3 of my ribs.
Okay.
Gave me a whole different perspective of running across the middle.
Well, I just heard Patrick Willis.
It was, I mean, just gave me a whole different perspective of going across the middle. Watch your surroundings, watch your back. But somebody else that was a part of the Packer. You didn't play with Clay, did you?
Matthews? Clay Matthews?
When was Clay's first? Okay, was he at SC?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
He was at
So-
SC and his father was at SC.
so that's what it was. So this is the thing, is that we would be in the huddle and Eli would call a play, and it would be to the right. And I know every time I would have to block Clay Matthews, I would get a stinger. So I would get, neck would lock up, lose all strength in my arm, would burn. So Eli's calling the play. We're over here, and he's like, "We're gonna go right." I'm looking out before the play is even done to see if Clay is on the right side. He's on the right side. I run out, like, man, here we go again. So I know exactly what's gonna happen every single time. Neck is still jacked up from it. But again, as soon as because what he did is he headbutts you. So you try and lock out. So he headbutts you, and you try and lock out, but it's like you're trying to block him with one arm. And you know Clay Matthews he's a different animal. So I lose all strength here, and it's trying to hook him with one arm, and it's just physically impossible. But the thing is that what he did, he grabs you and headbutts you right away, and it just burns down the whole arm. And it happened every single time we played the Packers. And then you just watch film, and coach gets mad at you because like you did something wrong, and it's like, "Coach, you go do it." Like, have you ever tried to block Clay Matthews?
Yeah, clear. Yeah, go hit it.
And it's just, and you have to do it. And it's like,
That's crazy.
yeah, it's just signing up for it.
Why you didn't get the stinger necklace?
I had one. I would wear it in practice, couldn't wear it in the game, you know that.
No, you try to look good. You try to look good. Try to look good. You didn't want that big thing around your neck. Yeah, I
Well,
understand.
and it wasn't even like it jerked my neck like back, like it was just, it's that instant pinching on the nerve.
Yeah,
The canal is super thin,
right.
and it just pinched, and it just lost all strength going down.
Oh, wow.
So you're trying to hook Clay Matthews with one arm, and yeah, it's just,
Are you ever scared?
Scared of what?
Scared of being scared of
No, I was nervous.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't-
I'm not putting words in your mouth.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
saying you were afraid.
Yeah.
Because the question
Yeah.
were you ever?
I don't think I was ever afraid. I think I was nervous. And the nervous is just, I want to have a good game, right? And so I used to ask Brett that before we were, because I was always before him running out of the tunnel. And I'm like, "You nervous?" He was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." And I knew a guy that had already been 7, 8, 9 years in the league. I'm like, if he's nervous and I'm in my rookie year, oh, we're going to be all right, right? Because he's still nervous at 9, 10. I think I'm going to be nervous as well. As we got older, I just wanted the first catch, because then I knew how the game was going to be played.
Talk to me about this notion. It's not a notion. It's sentiment. And you're saying it's about the remote. The game is slowing down. The game is not physically slowing down. The game is as fast as it is. What does that mean? And when do you know, I've got to figure it out? How, for those viewers who hear that when the game is slowed down, what does that mean?
From a standpoint of what?
Of how, when it's a confidence, like, well, the game is now slowed down, you can see it.
Oh.
You see plays developing?
Yeah.
Why is that to his advantage that the game is 44?
Yeah.
Because he's comfortable now.
Yeah.
That's how the game slows down. Because now, if you can see the game yourself, he's playing the game before it's even happened. That's when he's comfortable, and that's the most exciting part about it. And so, over the last couple of weeks, just watching him has really transitioned to him saying, "So I got this now." I think the game was fast. I think he didn't understand it. Having 3 starts before you became the starter, that's a tough situation to be in because you never understand how the game is played. Preseasons, okay, it's not as fast. People say it is, but it's not. It's really fast for the young guys coming in. The veterans, we're like, it's over. We're just trying to get through it, right? Regular season, the game transitions so much better. So it was confidence I think he's now built up that allowed the game to slow down so he can see the play happening before it even happens.
Are you hopeful that he is as good as he appears to be?
He will be.
He will.
And I'm going to say that because I've seen him develop, right? We have to give him time. That whole entire team is young. So you have to give them time to gel and work together so they can build a great franchise. The franchise has been established since, when you talk about great Packer legends, the only people we talk about is Bart Starr, number 1, Brett Favre, number 2, and Aaron Rodgers, right? Them the 3 quarterbacks. We had a lot more quarterbacks play this game here, but we only talk about 3 of them. Well, let's just go back and let's talk about Brett Favre, for example. When Brett took over for Magic Man, the team had great receivers, great line, great tight ends. Brett just had to fit in, and it worked for him. 4 years forward, he wins the Super Bowl. A year after that, you go back to the Super Bowl again, you lose. Then you play out, playoffs after playoffs after playoffs after playoffs. It never changes, right? You still got all these great weapons. We lose the NFC Championship game. We're the best receiver group in the National Football League at that time. Brett retires. Aaron just stepped into it and said, "Oh, I don't have no pressure on me. I got the best receiver group in the league. Now I just keep doing what I'm doing." He did that. And his years of success happened. Well, you can't give Jordan Love that.
Jordan Love doesn't have
He doesn't have that.
He's got very inexperienced.
100%. And a line,
Right.
and a running back, and tight ends. So that's what you have to look at, and you have to give him time to be patient and say, this kid's going to be okay. I support Jordan, and I told Jordan, you have to take control. You have to.
You talk to him.
Correct.
What's your relationship?
We have a good relationship.
Okay. Obviously, you were never on the roster.
Who?
You and Jordan.
You know, Jordan's young.
Yeah.
I was like, you know how old Donald is now. We're talking about dinosaur age. Like,
And they said dinosaurs coming out here. He's trying to make jokes right now. Dinosaurs, okay. That's all good. He's old too now. Don't get it twisted.
knees feel old, hamstring feel old.
Yeah.
Talk to me when you hurt yourself gardening.
Yeah.
Then we got a problem. But he doesn't have. Who are the veterans who are helping him?
He is the veteran.
He is it.
He is it. And that's what I told him. I was like, you have to take control. You're a young guy, but you're the leader of this franchise now. You have to take ownership of that. And he's like, I like that, right? Him and Aaron Jones are the leaders of that team. They have to take leadership in that. And then Gray and Alexandria on the defensive side of the ball. So it's like, how do they come together to make this work? They control, right now, the Packers control their own destiny.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did the relationship between you and him form? I'm interested.
I reached out to him when he got drafted because I knew that he was going to get slaughtered for it. And he had nothing to do with it. The Packers drafted him, right?
And you had seen this movie before. You
And I
were
knew
a
it was
player
coming.
in that movie before.
And I knew it was coming. So I just told him, I
Unlike
said,
draft day, you got the part in this real
yeah, exactly. and I just told him, I said, hey, welcome to Green Bay. It will be a journey, but welcome to Green Bay. And that was it. And I only sent him text messages back and forth. And he would reply sometimes he didn't, right? But now, I send him a message now, he's replying back like that.
You didn't have to do that.
No. Because someone did it for me.
Who did it?
Robert Brooks.
Robert?
Robert told me the only way you make this team is by doing everything right, give it all, before he retired. And he used to call me Spider-Man, like Spider-Man driver. And I never understood why he called me Spider-Man until I asked him one day, I'm like, why you call me Spider-Man? He said, you got like 8 legs. You just constantly moving all over the place. He said, but that's the only way you're gonna make it. And then when that happened, he retires, Antonio Freeman takes me under his wings. He buys me my first suit for the road game. Who does that for a rookie? Probably $500, $600. I wish they were like 150. I probably could have got 9. But Free bought me my first one.
Nobody.
Nobody?
No.
So hold on. So New York was just that bad that they didn't take you under their wing?
I'm talking about like the first day you walk in, it was in the cold tub. Like normally, like they warm you up a little bit. They wait till training camp. No, right in the cold tub. But at UW it was Brian Calhoun. So obviously he went to Oak Creek.
Another Oak Creek guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Taped up in the locker room at UW. Calhoun cut me out. But it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I think you learn from just watching, going back and watching Jordan Love. And I mean, he throws a great ball. And I think just building that chemistry with the players. And obviously it's one thing to be able to have the opportunity to learn and actually sit back and learn it and diagnose stuff from Aaron Rodgers. I think he has what Aaron had as far as athletes and what Brett Favre had as far as athletes. Like, I think it's different right now. But again, I think he's doing a great job of building that chemistry. And Packers fans, like, they're used to success and day in and day out. And it's like, if you lose a game, you got to point the finger somewhere, right? And it's like, you want to point the finger if the Packers lose, but then the next game, Jordan Love's a rock star. So going on 3 games.
I'm impressed with how he handles it.
Yeah.
If there's a bad game or a good game, he's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Same kid. He never changes. His press conference and everything is just like, hey, listen, we played bad. We didn't play well, they didn't play well. We played good, we played good. He's not changing.
They love that, right?
Yeah.
You can't underestimate.
No, he's a great kid. Great kid. And I think that's the most exciting part about it. He has a bright future.
Absolutely.
We only got a few minutes left,
Yeah.
so I want to ask a couple different questions. You're on a road trip in Philadelphia. There's a Mitchell and
man.
Ness store. You know the one I'm talking about downtown? They got all the old jerseys.
Yep.
Who are you going in there to buy?
Mine.
Oh, come on.
No. Let's see. If I had to choose one person, woo.
I was in there when Nick Barnett came in. When,
Yeah.
he was
I-
playing in Philly.
I have a lot of old Mitchell and Ness jerseys because that's what we used to wear back in the 90s. But I would probably go in, if I had to choose one person, it would probably be, if I can get that jersey today, and I probably can, would be Bart Starr. Because I have Tony Cannadale. So I think Bart Starr would be one person. And the reason why I would say that is me and Bart Starr did a Packer Pro Shop commercial together. And one thing he said he's never worn anyone else's jersey besides his, 15. And so we switched jerseys just for the first time ever. He's never done it before. So it's pretty cool. So that's one guy, I would say.
He was an absolute gentleman.
He was. Amazing guy.
I mean, that franchise is that franchise very much because of who he was and what he did.
Yeah.
And people loved him for his demeanor.
100%.
All right, same question for you. Going in.
I would probably, so I had a Lance Oliver.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Going in, you can throwback jersey.
I would probably, so I had
Old school.
I had
We
a
got to go
Lance
old school with
Oliver.
that. We got to go old school with that one.
Yep. I would.
Diego Chargers.
Yep. But I honestly, like
In the blue or
blue. Yep.
Okay, yeah,
Yep.
Diego powder.
Yep. So I would probably say mine, Brett Favre. Like I mean, that's who I grew up. That was Donald and Andre Rison and Santana Dotson and Gilbert Brown. It's crazy because my first autograph was from Leroy Butler when I was in elementary school, and now it's now
that's one of
so
when you talk about.
But I would definitely say that.
Walter Payton with it. I would probably, because I grew up a big Jerry Rice fan, right? So when I look at the it's crazy because when you look at some of the greatest players to ever play in the National Football League, the best running back was Walter Payton. The best receiver is Jerry Rice. I would say if you look at quarterbacks, one of the best quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl, Doug Williams. All of them were HBCU. You had Grambling, Mississippi Valley, Jackson State.
He's biased.
Who?
You.
No, I'm serious.
I mean, debatable as far as Walter Payton.
So hold on. Because you say,
Jim Brown.
oh, 100%. I think Walter Payton was one of the best running backs to ever play the game. But I'm not saying, I think he's one of the best. I'm not saying he's the best, right? Because I think,
anyone's the best.
yeah. I don't even know if I could ever say who's the best at, because it's eras, right? Jim Brown played in the era was different. Walter Payton different. Barry Sanders different. And then the great Emmitt Smith, right? So when you think about those running backs, everybody played in a different era. That's why I don't like when people start saying, well, who's the best receiver of all time? Era is different. Now, I give Jerry Rice credit because he played in 5 different eras, but he may be the greatest of all time because he's done it. No one else has done what he's been able to do.
So we got a minute left in the quarter, and then we'll wrap up. I want to talk about, because you said more than players.
Yeah.
I want to talk about fan interaction. We'll talk about jerseys first of all. What is it like to drive down the streets of Green Bay or drive around Jersey and you see a kid with a 47 jersey or you see a kid with an 80 jersey? Do you ever want to just get out and go, hey, can I sign that for you? Or you can't really do that? Or
Well, I can't really do that, but
I can. Must be nice. I'll get out take a picture, give him a hug. I can't.
I can't, but I will. Put it like that.
no,
But I agree.
There's
It's
a 9-year-old kid.
Oh, it's surreal.
Or a girl, and they're wearing
Yeah.
80. It's got to be
It is. It's surreal. Like, I never thought in a million years I would have the platform that I have. And I tell people, I didn't put myself on that pedestal. You all did. And so to interact with the fans of the community, and that's what I love to do.
Same question for you.
I mean, obviously, I'm still with UW and around the fans, and you still see the dingy number 9 jerseys. It's not like you can go out and buy it anymore. But
We need to call Mitchell and Ness and tell them to put the 9 on the market.
I don't think I got pulled like you.
You never say never.
You don't know.
Yeah. Come on. We just talked about NIL. This is the opportunity. Yeah.
I don't know if you hear this.
No, it's extremely humbling. I mean, it's the fact of knowing that this is your craft. And again, at the end of the day, I know that 98, 99% of what I did was God-given talent.
Yeah.
I was extremely blessed.
100%. Yeah.
And for someone else for me to just have an impact on somebody for doing something that I loved and that was natural, it's a blessing to see someone else wearing that jersey. So I'll be forever grateful.
What did you wear at Oak Creek?
I was number 1 at Oak Creek. Number 1 at Oak Creek. Got the jersey hung up on the wall in the basement.
I wore number 5 in high school. You know why I wore number 5? No. Because it was the lowest number, and that was the one who got to break the cheerleaders, the thing.
Oh, they hold up the run through it.
Like, okay, I'm not going to make any great plays here, but I can be the first out the gate. I'm not a dumb man.
That's
What
smart.
about the smoke with like Oklahoma and stuff? Like that was never you. Like, did you see the
Oh, when they fell all over each other?
tripped over each other?
The whole entire team?
That's a little too. As we wrap this up,
Yeah.
can you talk about one fan reaction you've had where you said, wow, I made their day. I don't know, maybe it was a child who was sick, maybe it was a fan who just was humbled by it. Is there one that sticks out where you go, because I played football well, I could make it, I really had an impression on this person and I made their day. I mean, imagine all these people when you were talking about football before,
Right.
as quiet as the church in here.
Yeah, right.
Now drivers talk. But is there one story that sticks out?
I would say I took my kids to Children's Hospital in Green Bay, and we actually just went in to give Christmas gifts. Right, we knew those families were going to be there the whole entire Christmas holidays, and my kids have never experienced that piece of it. And so me, Tina, Christian, and Christina at the time, we all went in and gave Christmas presents out. And those families that knowing that their young daughter or young son it wasn't going to make it, and to hear that, and to this day, I think that's the fun part that I enjoy is that I still keep in touch with those families after they lost their loved ones, because I was just a young kid at the time, just enjoying life and giving opportunities, and to be able to sit inside that room with that family, knowing that that young man or that young woman, as I invited them to a game, and the parents let you know that they're not going to make it past tomorrow. Those are the things that I think I cherish so much more now, because today I still talk to half of those families that I have been impacted by.
So one family.
Yeah. So just a crazy story is I called into a store regarding some DJ equipment and started talking to the sales rep, and I can hear his Jersey, New York accent. And I'm like, oh, where are you from? And he's like, oh, I'm from New York. I was like, oh, I played in New York. Obviously, I tried to say that because I was trying to get a discount on the equipment. So long story short, I introduced myself, and he's like, Travis, he's like, it's a small world because you're one of my dad's favorite players, and he has cancer now. And he asked, he was like, if you can have, he was waiting for one jersey that he wanted signed, and it was of mine before he passed. I ended up signing the jersey, sending it out to him, and he passed a week later. So it was just kind of one of those things. And again, I think it goes back to just us being humans and having an impact on people's lives, and just me doing so little and having that much impact on people's lives. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
You got to plug a few things. You got to plug your softball.
Oh yeah, May 10th, Mother's Day weekend. We're gonna actually have going back green and gold. So it's gonna be me, Jordan Love, Aaron Jones, playing in the softball game. I've done it for so many years. Brett passed to me. I passed to Jordy, and then from there we feel like it was best to get the players back into the love of this thing. So May 10th, we want everyone to come out, support it. It's gonna be a great time. Have a lot of fun and enjoy it. And then March 16th, 2024, we actually call in the Driven to Achieve Awards to honor so many great people in this community that have done so many great things. We get to honor them once again. So we're so excited about that, and we can't wait. And so we'll see what happens.
And you got a softball thing to plug too.
Yeah, so we're doing Marquette alum versus Wisconsin alum. Obviously looking forward to it. I normally would get the invite to Donald's celebrity softball games, but you drop one ball, you don't get the invite. And by the way, you won't actually play fair because he's cheating. You would think that someone as awesome as him would be honest.
And you're wondering why you're not getting invited. And you go, he cheats. You can't do that.
Look, I didn't go to.
This is why you're not invited.
Look, I didn't go to Marquette, and I didn't go to the Wisconsin. So I want to see if he invite me to one of these softball games. Maybe I can.
You can do it. Look, as soon as Christian commits to Wisconsin, you got the invite, baby.
Is it just athletes, or can former Wisconsin
We do it all.
Oh,
we do
wow.
it, yeah.
You got a
And then the
little
thing
lucky
is,
badger right here.
is that?
And guess what? Wear the number 5 jersey.
I got to tell you, it's been a
Yeah,
joy.
I appreciate it.
Discussion. I'm fans of you both. I'm fans of who you are after your pick.
Thank you so much.
And I know you got a party full of people who want to pick it.
Yeah.
But thank you for being
We
part
appreciate
of our
it.
Green Bay cast. Your
Absolutely.
questions were fantastic.
Love you guys.
They're up 7-0, and we say goodnight to this. Thanks for being with us tonight. Go Pack Go.